Welcome back everyone, Phoenix 3 here, and we're going to play some more Pokemon trading card game online. I actually built two more decks, an Eeveelution deck which probably doesn't work. It's still 60 cards, I could probably play one game and see what happens with it. But I decided to revive my old Cresselia EX deck. So we're going to play this and see how it works. As of now, this deck completely auto loses to like Pyroar. So I'm not going to expect to beat a Pyroar deck with this. I'm probably not even going to expect to beat Darkrai Yveltal. This deck here used to be able to beat straight Darkrai, but Yveltal kind of complicates things a fair bit. So we're just going to play this deck, see how it goes. This deck actually requires a lot of setup. And I mean a lot. There's actually a glitch with Pokemon Trading Card Game Online that doesn't allow Cresselia EX's ability to work in between turns if you can heal more than 30 damage. Like for instance, a Cresselia will get knocked out if poison damage will take its remaining HP in between turns, regardless if you can heal off that damage or not. So that's kind of a big deal, and it is unfortunate, but you know, things happen. I really wish they would fix it because this here is a really fun deck and I do like it. So we're just going to get Waltz in play. I'm not going to play the Sky Arrow Bridge because I want my opponent to play his Stadium first. What I actually need to do with this deck is fix it up a great deal. And I mean a great deal. And as you can see, I also have Snivy in the deck as well. Snivy is going to help keep Cresselia alive. So I'm not going to play my energy, or I'm not going to play my supporter. I'm going to wait till I can rare candy Superior. So my Cresselia should never have damage in between turns with the way the turn order is supposed to work. Actually, a turn order is very different because you as the player can decide the turn order. For example, if my Cresselia has full hit points, you should be able to decide whether or not how I heal my damage. You can choose for me to heal my damage first and then let poison take effect. Or I can choose the damage and then it's super complicated. But I am going to rare candy. Rare candy. On to Superior. That's gonna. Oh, come on! I really was looking forward to playing this game out. So hopefully we get a booster pack here from the new set, Furious Fist. Plasma Freeze. I may be able to trade that for a Furious Fist pack, so I'm gonna hold on to it. But basically the goal of this Cresselia deck is to completely heal off any damage my opponent can possibly do, unless they can knock me out in one hit. Gardevoir allows me to attack for 2 energy instead of the 4 that I do need. And this here is a Darkrai deck with probably Garbodor. This here is also another auto loss for me, which is unfortunate. I mean, the matchup is possible, but it's highly unlikely just because of Yveltal is able to deal 180 damage outright to me if my opponent gets the correct matchup. I should probably just quit this match right now because I know I'm not going to win. This is going to be an example of like fighting one of those uphill battles. You kind of don't want to quit because you know it is possible that you can win. But at the same time, you know, only thing your opponent needs is a double colorless energy and a darkness energy. And they knock out every Cresselia you have in one hit. If not, they have Verbank. I do have the Eviolite to heal 20 or to reduce the damage by 20. But Yveltal is still going to be hitting me for at least, what, 230 damage. Which is still more HP than what I have. I should probably just quit the match now because Eeveelutions is definitely going to be the main issue here. And as you see, the common theme of ending myself into hands with no supporters. So my opponent plays computer search. Like when this deck here was just straight Darkrai and nothing else in there could hurt me, like the matchup was still iffy because I only do 70 damage, but I can also make my opponent deal 70 damage. And it's really the snipe damage. I don't have to worry about that because I heal all the damage off in between turns anyway, assuming I get decent setup. But it doesn't look like it's going to be happening here. Supporter would be nice. Okay, it's better than nothing. I should probably rare candy into. I should Ultra Ball for probably a My opponent says he screwed up the turn. I don't see how. I don't see how. I mean, there's really nothing he could have done that turn. He wasn't attacking me that turn. Maybe he could have played a Dark Patch. He computer searched for letter. Well, I mean, I thought that was kind of an odd thing to do as well, but I should probably just get the to call it in play, but I'm just going to take a risk here because having Superior in play is still good. When I meant to Dark Patch, yeah, I actually don't care about that. I'm going to attach this here, and I want to save that last bin spot for another Cresselia. But yeah, the decks I don't want to see with this here. See, now it's going to knock me out in one hit every single time, and there's nothing I can do about that. And that's unfortunate. Just because Cresselia takes 4 energy to attack, I'm not going to be able to beat Darkrai decks. I'm just going to quit because I mean I can't win this game. This here is an auto loss. I'm not going to, you know, waste possible stream time fighting an auto loss because I could potentially fight this out for the next couple of turns. But I would need to have 2 Cresselias in play with energy. Eeveelutions would have to come out and attack. I would have to hit the Eeveelutions, it'll knock me out, then I would have to attack it and knock it out. And my opponent can just power up another Eeveelutions in one turn, and then I'm down 4 prizes to my opponent's 2. And I would be sacrificing Waltz and probably Snivies, just trying to get another Cresselia going. And I end up giving away 1 of my Cresselia, so I only have 2 in the deck and not the 3 that I would normally like to have. So I have a Mew EX holding that spot, which is not the best substitute ever. I'm trying to get another Cresselia, but everybody's only trading for Furious Fist stuff right now. Again, I have friends in pretty high places, so I can always get them to give me cards if I need it. I'm just not really trying to get it, because I'm really trying to build my Pidgeot Dragon Knight EX deck. That's one I really want to play with. That'd be the deck I will be playing this tournament season. I tried playing Cresselia EX in tournament. I did moderately well with it. I ended up losing to a Darkrai deck just because I didn't hit my set of cards that I needed. If I could have got out the Superiors when I did, then I probably would have did better. But this was also in the same format where Pokemon Catcher did not require the coin flip, so Darkrai was able to hit my Gardevoirs for 110, which is only the amount of HP that Gardevoir has. And back then we didn't have things like Heartstone. We did have Giant Cape, which probably would have been the better tool to play, but Tool Scrapper was also around, so it would have been more of high risk for almost no payoff in trying to play the deck. So I didn't play it again after that tournament. I just went back to playing my Zapdos deck. Well, let's cancel this and see if we can find another game. Like, I do really want to show you what the Cresselia deck can do. It is really good when my opponent can't knock me out in one hit. But when they can knock me out in one hit, the issues kind of start happening. I actually can't seem to find a game right now. It's actually kind of odd. Taking its sweet time. Alright. We'll just reload the entire thing. Go back. I hate it when the game just hangs like that. I guess I could edit out all of these cuts, but I choose to not really edit the videos because I just want to do a continuous stream of like gameplay. I don't want to just show games where I win or games where I lose. That's a lot of things that some people on YouTube tend to do. They only show games where they win. They don't really show games where they lose. I don't have a problem showing games where I lose, because you know it's a learning experience. When I go back and watch my videos, I can be like, why did I make this particular play when this here was the better option? You know, you don't think about things like that when you're in the moment of a game, but when you actually go back and watch it, you learn from it. And that's the reason I upload these videos. And I upload all my gameplay videos, because I can learn from these videos when I watch it. And when other people watch it, they may find themselves in a similar situation, and they'll be like, why did he make this play? Why didn't he make that play? Or you may have made similar plays, but you didn't really learn from that play, but then you saw somebody else do it, and you're like, oh, okay, now I can see where the mistake was, and you can learn from it. So we all, you know, we all learn from each other, and that's kind of the way this should work. But it is taking its sweet time trying to find something. And I could click practice, but I don't want to play practice. I want to play rank. Show me something. Play testing, friend battle. No. Rank, select a deck. Let's do Cresselia. So I think we've sat here for 3 minutes trying to find a game. Okay, looks like we got something happening. So I'm playing, this is probably Dragonite. And I don't think Dragonite can knock Cresselia out in one hit. Oh, look at this hand. I don't want to have to discard 2 Superior. That's going to hurt, actually. Genesect. Well, Genesect is another bad matchup for me. I'm going to play my Sky Arrow Bridge because I really don't think Genesect has anything it wants to do. Unfortunately, I am going to have to Juniper this away. I'm just going to have to hope that my Super Rod is in the deck. Ouch. We'll find another game. That was actually very painful. Again, it would take too long to try to get something going in that game. And there's pretty much no reason to try to continue playing the game. I mean, I lost 2 Superiors. There is a third one in the deck. I don't even know if my Super Rod was in the deck. I also have to, if I would have drawn a Juniper that turn, there's a chance I probably would have lost my second or my 2 Gardevoirs. So now I'm effectively on a 1-turn clock here, and I didn't hit what I need. So what I am going to do is chat unavailable. Okay, I'm gonna discard this, and I want to save that energy. I kind of want to save my chorus, but everything else is too useful. Plus, I'm going to Skyla for probably a Juniper anyway. So we will grab Cresselia. Is my other Cresselia in the deck? Please be here. My other Cresselia is prize. My mute is also prized. So I am at 1 Cresselia this entire game. That's fine. I'm going to grab my Cresselia, play that, play this. I'm going to Skyla for Juniper. And I'm not going to play my Sky Arrow Bridge. I am just going to save it, wait for my opponent to play something, and then I'm going to kind of respond off that if he plays it. If he doesn't, then I'll play my Sky Arrow Bridge. So he gets heads. He put his stadium down, which is good. I'm going to heal all this damage off though, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to play that. I'm going to heal that, and I'm going to Juniper. This is actually pretty good. Rare candy. I have my gold potion, so if I need to heal, I can. And we're going to Psychic Protection, and we're going to put 90 on that. We knock it out next turn. And I actually drew my other Sky Arrow Bridge, so I mean that's good. Ideally, I would like to get some superiors out here, and my opponent just quits. So next game, hopefully we get something that's not Pyro or Darkrai. If it's a dark deck, I'm just going to quit. I am just going to quit this game because my opponent is probably playing Garbodor as well. Well, we'll see. He might not be playing Darkrai, but I mean that hand looks way too convincing to not be Darkrai. Or what his typing said his deck was. It's too like whatever to not be Darkrai. I'm going to put Snivy in the active spot just because it costs less energy to retreat. My opponent has what? What's my opponent playing? Okay, so this here is, oh my goodness, I can't discard all this energy. I mean, I have to because I've got to get a Cresselia down. Maybe I attach the grass energy to Snivy. I'm just going to Juniper. Ultra Ball, discarding a Gardevoir, and I should probably discard the Eeveelution. Yeah, we'll discard the Eeveelution. I've got to get a Cresselia. I have Super Rods, so I can put those back into the deck if I need to. I probably should have checked to see if my other superior. So we have a Noibat here. If I can get my ideal setup, then it's not going to matter what my opponent does here. So this here is not the great Zoroark. The defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. That could possibly be a big deal, because I like to switch back and forth between my Cresselias when they have damage or not. So I'm missing another energy here. I'm going to get a Snivy in play, and I'm just going to end my turn. I'm going to have to play the end next turn unless I hit like a chorus or something, because I don't want to refresh my opponent's hand, but I might actually have to. So we got the rare candy. I can actually Ultra Ball, but I end up discarding a lot of really good cards I need. I could Shauna, because this is my only N in the deck. I don't want to refresh my opponent's hand, but I kind of want to see more cards. But at the same time, I don't want to give my opponent anything either. So I'm just going to Shauna here. I'm going to put down my other Cresselia. Sky Arrow Bridge. And oh, I can't retreat. Well, I mean, there's no point in playing the potion. I'm going to lose that Snivy regardless if I play it or not. So I might as well just lose it. It'd be nice to top deck a rare candy, so I can just Skyla for a Juniper. I'm going to put up this Cresselia. So we got a level ball. What do we got? Might as well, right? And with this deck here, I don't play the middle evolutions. I only play... Actually, we can save cards here. We'll just grab Chorus. I just play 3/3 lines of the stage 2s because I really don't have deck space to run the middle evolutions. I would love to run Servine and Cresselia, but I just can't. I don't have the space to do it because I need potions in this deck. I need the rare candies. I need the gold potion. I need the Eeveelutions. You know, I need all these other cards, and I just can't hit them. So what is this? This is Meloetta. I'm not worried about Meloetta because when I start attacking, I get Psychic Protection, which during my opponent's turn prevents this Pokemon from having weakness. So I won't get hit with things like X-Ball and other things. So, well, course for 8. I will put this here. I will attach... what do you do? Nightclaw, flip a coin. If tails, discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon. I'm going to put an energy here because he's going to try to lock me in the active spot. I got my Super Rod, so that's good. I should probably get the Gardevoir out right now. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to discard you and the Psychic Energy. Only got one Gardevoir in my deck. We're going to Rare Candy into Gardevoir. Okay. And I want to... I got 2 Superiors in the deck, so I don't need to worry about getting more in there. So I can probably Super Rod and put energy back into the deck, so we're going to do that. We're going to put 1, 2, and this Snivy back into the deck. And I'm just going to end my turn. Because the way it is now, he's not doing enough damage to me to keep me locked in the active spot with corner. He's only going to do 10, and I heal 10. I'm fine with that. If he doesn't do corner, he puts 80 on me. He possibly loses 2 energy, and I just retreat into my other Gardevoir. He ends me, which is perfect. So I plus 5. So it's a good thing I played that Super Rod. Like exactly when I did. Hopefully I draw a rare candy. So he does that. He has a discard 2 energy. He's probably going to keep one into darkness. So he does exactly that. I didn't hit my rare candy, but I am going to attach the Eeveelite here. I'm going to attach here. Since I don't have a rare candy, I'm not going to play the Juniper because I still have useful cards. So I'm going to end my opponent. I'm going to put down this Snivy. I'm going to retreat. And I should probably play a potion on this Cresselia here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to Psychic Protection for 70 because he does resist. And if my opponent wants to keep me in the active spot, which might be in his best interest to do so, he will only do 10 damage to me. I'll heal it off in between turns, and then I'm good to attack. If I can get my Superiors out here, then Boom Burst here isn't going to be as effective. And now that Hearthstone is a thing, I should probably take the Eeveelites out. Like I said, this deck here is really old, and I haven't done any updates on it. I would really like to update this deck because this Cresselia deck here is really fun. It just kind of says if you can't knock me out in one hit, which you know a lot of decks can do nowadays. So he did Psychic, but probably wasn't aware of my effect, which takes away the weakness. So I just Psychic Protection, knock you out, and I take a prize. And I get a rare candy. So next turn I will be getting a Superior in play. And Superior is going to help me heal off all this damage. Because Cresselia heals 10 off itself in between turns. If I get 2 Superiors out, then I'm healing 30 damage at the end of every turn. So that means by the time my opponent has a turn coming up, I would have already healed 60 damage. Which is a big deal. And I'm not sure why my opponent attached a double colorless here. He should have attached it to like you or possibly, you know, something else that could appreciate it. Because I'm going to knock this out right now. He just attached an energy to a Pokemon that's going to get knocked out. I actually want to take this opportunity and get a superior in play, so we're going to do this. I don't want to discard a potion, but this here is more useful. And I'm gonna leave this on the bench since it has damage there. I'm gonna put an energy here on Gardevoir for just in case it gets brought out, and we will Psychic Protection, knock it out, get a Skyla. I've got 14 cards left in my deck. But the bad thing about this deck though is it takes a lot of resources to get going. Like if you don't hit the correct hands, you're using a lot of cards trying to get set up. And that's the one thing I'm trying to fix with this deck, is the amount of cards that I actually need to get set up. What my opponent probably should have did was brought up Noivern and just tried to use echolocation to stall instead of sending a Pokemon out to take damage, but my opponent paralyzes me. So that's a little annoying. I'm going to Skyla for probably Chorus. Do I have any more ends left? I don't have any more ends left, so we'll do that. Well, at least that other Pokemon is not out here right now, because that would probably hurt me. Gets another heads. Wow. Should probably play some switches in this deck. I'll just end my turn again. Can't do anything. Will you do 60 plus 10 more for each energy attached to defending Pokemon? That could be a problem if my opponent gets another heads here. I mean, I wish I could flip heads on agility with Zapdos, you know, turn after turn like that. I know I got it that one game, but it's not like super consistent though. I've got 10 cards left in my deck. I'm gonna draw, shuffle back. I go to 15. I'll go down to 6 cards left in my deck. I'm not going to play it because I mean there is a chance my opponent could just flip correctly every single turn afterwards for the Bat Dragon. I mean, I don't have to play cards right now. My hand is pretty much set up the way I want it to be. If I play for anything, it'll be just to get another Snivy in play, which is what I do want. Houndour. So I will probably Ultra Ball. Well, never mind. That's Ultra Ball. I'm not going to be playing Junipers anymore. So, might as well get another Snivy in play. Because at the end of every turn, I'm going to be healing 40 damage from turn if my opponent wants to Boom Burst. So my opponent will effectively not be dealing any damage to me by the time my opponent's next turn comes around. So I can perfectly stall this thing out. So Cresselia is going to take 10. That's going to take 30, 10, 30, 30, 30. But I'm going to heal 20 right now. I'm going to attack. I get Tails. I do 90 damage, but I heal 10 or 20 more damage. So this Noivern can't hurt me at all. It's not doing any damage to me. And that doesn't make my opponent quit the game, and I don't know what does. Like, this Cresselia deck is really good. The only problem with the card game right now is that decks are way too offensive. And they deal more damage than what you can heal. For instance, Eviltal knocks Cresselia out in one hit. Mewtwo can knock Cresselia out in one hit, but not in response to a Cresselia once I get the Psychic Protection up. My Blastoise can knock Cresselia out in one hit. Not really, but it can happen. Keldeo can. Black Kyurem can. Charizard EX, Mega Charizard EX can. Genesect can. So there's another win. So basically what this deck does is it prevents my opponent from doing damage. So we look at stats here. My opponent dealt 480 damage. I healed 380 because my opponent did take a knockout, which is unfortunate. But it's whatever, you know. I can deal a lot of damage with the deck. I can heal off any damage from the deck if my opponent can't knock me out. So there's really good things there. So let's see what we get from the mystery box. We get 4 tournament tickets, which is kind of bad because I don't ever use tournament tickets. So Cresselia did good. I'm gonna switch to this Eeveelution deck, see how well it does. I will probably get completely destroyed because this deck is entirely Eeveelutions. There's like no other attackers in the deck. Well, there's a Mewtwo EX. So this here is a plasma deck, it looks like. And I'm probably gonna get destroyed because Eeveelutions don't like plasma. Maybe I could do some shenanigans with Flareon. This here is a pretty interesting hand here, actually. I'm gonna play the Mewtwo because why not? Let's see what we got here. Suicune. And you know who Suicune doesn't like? Suicune doesn't like Leafeon. So I am going to grab this energy here. I don't play any other energy, really. I probably should. I'm just going to put that on Mewtwo just so I can have an X-Ball ready. And I don't know if I should just end my turn. Like, this is the first game I'm actually playing with this deck online, so I really don't know what to do with it. You know what? I should have just evolved into a Vaporeon. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Ooh, I've got options. I'm going to take this Vaporeon. Because this thing is weak to Leafeon, but if I hit my double colorless energy, then... So there's an Audino. Ditto. I can Muscle Band the Vaporeon, but this is I'm a 2-hit knock this thing out anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'll just end my turn and see what happens. Because now my opponent is going to have to respect the Leafeon. And by putting a bunch of Pokemon down with, like, you know, through Ditto and stuff like that, then I can threaten knockouts with Flareon, which is kind of what I want to do for late game. So maybe I just make a rainbow deck here, put a bunch of Eeveelutions in, and Ho-Oh. Since Ho-Oh is actually a really good attacker in this deck, since you use one of every type of energy for the most part. Like I say, it looks like my opponent does not know what to do. But unfortunately, due to space constraints and stuff like that, I don't have anything in the deck that I can really use. So you do Outrage. That's going to be a problem, because now I can't hit this thing like I want to. I can always X-Ball it, though. I mean, that's not a big deal. I could do 40 to this. See, this Vaporeon's weak to lightning, and the other one's weak to grass. I'll probably just end. I mean, I don't want to discard double colorless energy. I kind of want to save as many resources as I can. I'm going to attach this here. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to end. Yeah, I'm actually trying to figure out what to do with this deck. Actually, let's take another Ditto. So we'll do this. Muddy Water, 40, and do 30 to you. Why not? I'm trying to avoid an Outrage. I probably shouldn't be too scared of it, but you know, this Vaporeon is weak. I don't want to put a bunch of damage on it and then can't knock it out in return. Because basically what this does is, if I can move the Vaporeon, which I probably won't be able to, then I can just X-Ball the Zekrom, knock it out. And then wait for him to put more energy in play, and then I can start knocking things out with Leafeon. Lysandra. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But we will do this. Transform. Oh, did I do that? Oh my goodness. That is, you guys witnessed a pro move right there. That was my expertise. Or did I do it on purpose? My opponent is probably trying to figure out what happened. That's right, I'm trying to figure out what just happened. But yeah, the Eevee has 50 hit points, and there was more damage on the Ditto than what the Eevee could take. So I ended up sacrificing 2 prizes. So Zekrom has 80 on it, or has 90 left. I can X-Ball for 80. So yeah, we'll do that. Basically, what I was trying to do was evolve the Eevee, put the Jolteon on just so I had the free retreat cost, but that backfired. So we'll X-Ball for 100 here, knock it out. Sigilyph, Suicune is probably going to come up. It might stay in the active spot, which I'm actually fine with, but I'm actually going to work on getting some more Dittos out here and try to get some Eeveelutions going, because I can evolve this one next turn with Transform if I hit an Eevee. But I'm now down 1 Eevee because of a misplay. I don't even know if you would even count that as a misplay, because I just wasn't paying attention. Next turn I will take a Ditto. Do I take Ditto? Yes. I'm going to take Ditto. I'm going to play it. I'm going to attach this here. I guess I will attach a double colorless energy. One of these is going to eventually become a Flareon, I guess. So might as well have the energy down. I'm going to end. And I suppose I could catch or something. Of course not, because, you know, Tails never fails. I'll retreat. Why not? Go into Vaporeon. Muddy Water and 20 here. Because basically what I'm doing now is threatening a knockout next turn on... Well, there's that Mewtwo. I'll probably put 20 on the Mewtwo actually, because then I can just respond to an X-Ball on Mewtwo next turn and my opponent just quits. I would like to finish an actual game though, whether I'll just completely lose the game or win it. But we'll continue with the EVs, see what happens. Versus, I actually have no idea what this is. Darkrai and Colorless. It could be Buffalont, but I haven't seen that card in a competitive deck for a while now. I'm gonna play both my EVs, because why not? Straight Darkrai. There's an N, which I am not really happy with, just because I had a way to get energy next turn and now I don't have it. Okay, we will do this. Grab a Ditto. Play it. I will attach this here. I'm gonna end, and I draw crap. Ultra Ball. Haven't seen an Eeveelutions yet. Could this be a Darkrai deck without Eeveelutions? I mean, that would be surprising to me. There's a Buffalont, so there's that, and random receiver for Juniper. Does Eeveelutions exist in this deck? I could have sworn like my opponent would grab one. So we got 4 Darkrai. So my goal is to get Pokemon in the discard pile now and do shenanigans with Flareon. Double colorless on Darkrai? Why put double colorless on Darkrai when you got a Buffalont there? So this has Dark Claw. So this is going to knock out any of my attackers in one hit, which is unfortunate. I can attach this water energy here, grab a Vaporeon, catcher something out with a 2 energy retreat cost. That's not going to work. That Leafeon is good. I would much rather have it in the discard pile just so I can deal the extra damage. Well, I mean, at the same time, these Pokemon are going to hit the discard pile anyway. So, let's do that. Juniper. I can Dowsing Machine for the Ultra Ball. Grab some more Dittos. We will discard the Jolteon and the catcher. I'm going to Ultra Ball. Grab a Ditto. I will probably play the Ultra Ball next turn though. I'll play it. Oh, you already got a tool on you. What tool you got? Muscle Band? Silver Bangle. Oh, okay. That's even better. So we'll do this. We'll Muddy Water, do 20 to the Darkrai. And my plan has now been executed to beat this deck that I'm probably not going to beat. Dark Claw. Yeah, another thing with this deck here is that I don't have the necessary energy either to actually win. Or not the necessary energy. Well, energy is going to be a problem because I don't play a lot of it. But I also don't have startling megaphones to try to reduce the damage here. So everything that he hits is going to get knocked out, which is unfortunate. And Darkrai decks are doing what Darkrai decks actually show that they do well, and that's spam energy. So my opponent's probably going to junk hunt here, or maybe not, just straight up knock out my Vaporeon. 60 on Ditto. I'm fine with that, I guess. I'm going to attach this energy here. I'm going to Skyla for an N, probably. Oh, is it a good idea to Skyla for it? I wish you could see your opponent's discard pile while you're in the middle of a deck search, just so I can figure out what resources he spent. I know my opponent's played a couple of Junipers. Maybe I just grab the maybe I just grab the Juniper, but I'm just gonna take the N, I guess. Is better than nothing, I suppose. How many Pokemon I got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 60, 70, 80 with Flareon, so I've got to get more Pokemon in the discard pile. I'm going to save these cards. Energy Crush. This isn't going to knock out, though, so it's 10 short. This is a lot to actually consider with Eeveelutions. Like, you want to figure out why. See, I don't know why my opponent is wasting these cards. Like, he knocks me out anyway in one hit. But he's probably just going to Juniper it away anyway, I guess. And I don't want to play this double colorless energy because my opponent probably does play Enhanced Hammer. But basically, if I can get a good cycle of Eeveelutions going. Well, that's... I don't know, because if I can hit my Vaporeon, then I kind of knocked it out in one hit anyway. I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do with this Ditto anymore. So I'm just going to bring this one up. There's a Mewtwo. I guess I'll play that. I gotta get those Eevees back in the deck though. Muscle Band. Guess I'll just put that there. I'll put this here too. Grab Eevee. Transform. Evolve into Leafeon. And I'm dealing what? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. I'm dealing 140. So we're going to do this now. We're going to Super Rod, Eevee, and probably, I want to say Leafeon. Or I can just put energy back in the deck. I want to put this Vaporeon back. So I want to make sure I actually have a Vaporeon. And then we will just do this. Energy Crush. 160. And then if I can get Vaporeon out, then I knock out this Darkrai and the other Darkrai. Probably not going to happen, but, you know. Damn, my opponent is leaving me with no options. What do I do? How many Pokemon in this card pile? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not enough to start getting one-hit knockouts though, so I guess I will X-Ball. Actually, this here would have been a perfect game to showcase Cresselia, actually. Man, I just can't do anything against this Darkrai deck. That's Catcher. Oh, Busybody, just a discard. And I'm going to end. Let's grab some energy. 1, 2. Ultra Ball, discard the water and the Leafeon. I got a Vaporeon left in the deck, so that's good. We'll do this. Attach this here. Retreat. And start trying to take some knockouts. Hopefully this Buffalont can't be moved. Oh my goodness. My opponent seriously got all the options. Oh, he ain't knocked me out. Okay, let's do that. Let's put this down. Double colorless. Let's see, what do we super rod? Super rod the Eevee, the Audino, and I want to put a Flareon back because I'm about to discard a Flareon, so might as well have one in the deck as well. Alright, this here is the one I want to knock out though. Okay, so the correct thing to do here would probably be try to get a Leafeon in play. I can deal 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. I can knock this out with Leafeon. Problem is with that, he takes his last two prizes on this Vaporeon. So basically what I should do is not move this Vaporeon. Just don't move it. But so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can do 120 with Flareon. But I can have a guaranteed knockout with, but I'll lose the game if I do that because he takes his last two prizes. So we will put Muscle Band here. I'm going to, well, I don't have any more energy left in the deck, so I probably should have just discarded that. One, two, who's left? We have a Flareon, so we don't have a Leafeon, which is unfortunate. Oh, my computer is lagging. My computer is lagging. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, I have a touch screen, so yeah, my computer is lagging. This is, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, I'm back. We will transform. Select transform. Okay, so that's a glitch. I should be able to evolve it, and I can't. Okay, my computer is lagging again. So we're going to Muddy Water for 40 and put 10 on, or 20 on this Darkrai. Knock that one out. Yeah, I don't know where this lag is coming from actually. And this Vaporeon to get knocked out, but he can't knock out anything else because he won't deal enough damage. Unless he catches out Mewtwo, then, you know, game over. But at least I'm putting up a decent fight here, I guess. So there's an end. My opponent would have that card too. He would have an end. That's actually kind of annoying. And my opponent draws everything he needs off it too. Alright, just can't catch a break. We'll bring up the Eevee, I guess. Doesn't matter what I actually bring up, so. So we will evolve, attach double colorless, and end. Yeah, where is this lag coming from? I don't know where it's coming from. What do I do? I think I actually lose this one. Well, we vengeance, I guess. I don't know, maybe putting Training Stadium in the deck would have been a decent idea. I didn't put it in because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and wait for my opponent to play a bunch of cards. Maybe I should have just put it in the deck. But I didn't put it in because decks like Pyroar and other decks that use evolutions to fight with. I didn't do it because I didn't want them to like have some type of advantage over me, because the reason of playing the Eeveelutions was so I can have an advantage over like EX decks, and to put that in would actually make me have less of an advantage against evolution decks. Okay, so I'm going to switch to Pidgeot because I did put a Mewtwo EX in the deck, so I want to see how well that fares. I just have to draw a decent hand. This will probably be my last game though, because we are approaching the 1 hour mark. So I do draw 2 Pidgeys in my opening hand and a Darkness energy, so I can at least get energy in the discard pile. Okay, so I actually have no idea what my opponent's playing here. So we do see a Miltank, but my opponent also has Darkness on the deck list, so I'm not sure what they're trying to do. They might be playing Shift Tree, or there's a Tropical Beach. I'm actually fine with that. So what I'm going to do is discard this. I'm going to select a Ho-Oh. I'm going to Ultra Ball that Ho-Oh away and take another Ho-Oh. And I'm going to Juniper this Ho-Oh away for potentially more cards. We will do this. We will attach the water energy probably to this Pidgey. I'm just trying to spread the cards out a little bit, and I'm a Tropical Beach. There's a Duskull and Piplup. Alright, so I know what my opponent's playing. But at least I got my Ho-Ohs in the discard pile though. Tropical Beach, or that course isn't going to matter because my opponent just has a Tropical Beach. But that is at least another turn of setup that I have. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to catch her out. That, because I don't want this in play. I'm not going to. I'm going to end. Hopefully I can get a Pidgeot here. I don't get a Pidgeot, but I can go for Pidgeot though, if it's still in the deck, that is. And we'll discard the energy. I don't know, let me see. If I had more energy in the discard pile, I could probably do some shenanigans with Ho-Oh. But I'm going to have to discard the energy switch, grab my Pidgeotto. Hopefully it's in here. It's in here. And I'm going to try to ambush for heads and get a knockout that way. So, come on, heads. Awesome. Because basically I keep cards out of my opponent's hand. I keep that I'm pretty sure my opponent only plays 2 though. So here's an Ultra Ball. This is probably going to turn into an Empoleon, a Jirachi. Probably going to turn into a Skyla for the rare candy. So here's a Skyla. So I can go for rare candy. Yep, so a super complicated rare candy chain. And does my opponent attack, though, is the question. Or does my opponent Tropical Beast? There's a Starling Megaphone. Well, I do care if those get discarded, because I actually need that for the one-hit knockout. So my opponent does attack. I am going to play that. And I'm gonna see if tails. That attack does nothing. I'm a sand attack. If I can get a Pidgeot, then I can possibly survive a little bit longer. And my opponent gets heads, so I should probably just attack. There would not have been a consequence to that, actually. Oh, here's my Pidgeot. I swear this game hates me. Okay, I got that lag going again. I could try to get a Ho-Oh and play. Ho-Oh deals what? Empoleon's gonna do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It will do 80 damage to me. And of course I don't have supporters. I mean, maybe it's best for me to just get Hoes out and start attacking with them, but I would like to turn this into a win. Though that deck with the Eeveelution was so close to a win, but my opponent having that end was a big deal. But yeah, see, that's the reason why I don't play, or why I didn't play Pokemon trading card game online, was because that Ditto was in play for one turn, and per the rules I should have been able to wait one turn, use transform to put the Eevee down, and then evolve the Eevee directly into Flareon in the same turn, which is what should have happened. But it didn't happen because the game just saw it as an evolution on Eevee and didn't care to like be correct about what the rulings that it uses was. So I was pretty much locked from doing that, and as a result I lost because that Darkrai should have been knocked out. So here I am going to Strong Gust for 60. I mean, my opponent gave me an N, so that should help. But I'm a Strong Gust for 60. Next turn, I'll knock whatever he sends up out. If I get Catcher, I'm probably just going to retreat and knock out the Empoleon. So there's that. I do want to Chorus Machine for something, though. My Super Rod is not in here. I should probably Super Rod for the Muscle Band, or I should or Dousing Machine for the Muscle Band. Actually, that's not going to work, so I should probably take the Catcher. Let's do that. I mean, that's the only other thing in here I can take is the Catcher. I could try to Catcher out the Empoleon and knock that out. So whatever. Got an N here. Oh, this here is not a nice hand. I do have an energy attachment though, so what I am going to do is get a Ho-Oh, or try to get a Ho-Oh. Okay, we're good. Not going to attach that. We're going to take everything else other than the water energy, and we will retreat with the Pidgeot. This Empoleon has 80 hit points on it though. Well, take the energy, why not? I kind of want to try to get a Keldeo in play though. Oh man, I forgot this thing has 120 health on it. Maybe I Ultra Ball for a Pidgey and see what happens. I mean, I think that's the correct thing to do. Oh, my Keldeo is not even in here. Okay. Well, we'll do this. Take the Emolga. And Rainbow Burn. I think Emolga is a good deterrent for Empoleons, probably. Maybe. So there's a Tropical Beach. I probably should have put the extra energy on there then. Dang. Because Tropical Beach would have knocked it out if you would have played it. But, I mean, at any rate, if I choose to not attack, then I can put my hand back up to, like, 7. So my opponent's probably trying to deck shrink here. Trying to hit some cards. There's an N. So I get catchers. So I actually don't need to use Tropical Beach now, which is good. Super Rod, Duskull, or Dusclops. I take 80. So I have catchers. I have options. What I should do now is get a second Ho-Oh in play. Actually, that's going to be a bad idea, so scratch that. I mean, Pidgeot can knock out this, but Ho-Oh can also knock it out. But I kind of don't want to sacrifice prizes if I don't have to, because if I do knock out the Empoleon, then this becomes weaker, and I have to hope he doesn't like draw what he needs. So give me, come on, just give me heads. I really need heads. So we're going to bring up the Empoleon, and I'm going to attach the... I should probably save that muscle band. I'm probably going to need it. I'll just do that. Are all my Pidgeys knocked out? 1, 2, all my Pidgeys are knocked out. So I need to hit my Super Rod so I can put my Pidgeys back. Real Rainbow Burn for knockout here. It's actually the first time I've had all my Pidgeys been used and still have Pidgeots. Another problem with stage 2 decks in this format, or just with the game period, you just lose resources so quick and you can't replenish them when you need to. I'm like actually having a problem with that, so there's that. Okay, this is good. This is really good. So I'm going to Super Rod. Put all my Pidgeys back. I should probably put a Water Energy back too. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's put a Water Energy back. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can chorus for 6. That's probably the best thing to do though. And I still don't draw Pidgeys. Okay. Miltank. I mean, I don't mind losing the Ho-Oh, but at the same time, I really don't want to just give my opponent 2 prizes, though. Because it's better that I sacrifice the Pidgeot, since it only gives up 1 prize. But if my opponent can't absolutely do anything with that, then I just gain an extra turn to do something with. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to retreat into the Pidgeot, and we're going to Strong Gust, knock it out, because at least this way I keep my Ho-Oh, and if I need to retreat, I can retreat. Or yeah, if I need to retreat with the uh-oh, I can do that. But if my opponent doesn't do something, then he only gets one prize, and I can just knock out whatever else he sends up with Emoga, more than likely. Let me see, you do Powerful Friends if you have any stage 2 Pokemon. So Miltank has 100. Emoga does 60 plus, so I only do 90. So yeah, I need the Muscle Band to knock it out. Or I could just hit an energy here with... Ooh, oh no. Okay, well, we now have a problem. Dang, he drew all that? He drew all that. See, this is a point in the game where end doesn't even matter because my opponent can still draw out of it. You know, not getting Pidgeys down really kind of hurts. I mean, I play ways to search them all out, but... So they still didn't fix this. I mean, they made it to where you can move energy easier with like energy transfer, but they still don't find a way to make this happen any faster. Well, alright, what do I do? I think it's clear to get another Ho-Oh in play. Alright, it's not right click anymore. Done. Let's take you and... why not take the water energy, I guess. I'm not sure if I should play the Aspersa City Gym. Why not? Yes. Put my opponent at 1. You know, I keep forgetting Miltank is, like, colorless. I keep giving it plus 20 hit points. But I really wasn't expecting him to, like, hit everything he needed. Though I wasn't expecting Dusk Noir to come out. I wasn't expecting any of that. Yeah, that game's over. Mystery box. Give me another booster pack that I can use to trade. Alright, so I get an XY pack. So hopefully I get like a full art Eviltal EX. I can trade that for some Dragon Knights. Well, anyway, that's the last game I got for you guys. Sorry the last 2 games were not that of great quality. You know, it's all based on a luck of the draw. And it's just really hard trying to play stage 2s right now. But if you guys liked the video, subscribe. There will be more content like it in the future. I will also try to get some other content going as well, but for right now, all I got planned is Pokemon. I want to try to get some of the video game content recorded as well, because that can be pretty fun. So all I got for you guys right now. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.